Do you like Oreos? Do you like cocaine? Well, if you're on Oreos, you're a far worse shape than you are if you're on cocaine. There is a new study that says that heart addictive drugs are a lot easier on the body than Oreos. They gave lab rats Oreos, and they'd eat only just the Oreos. It activated the neurons in the pleasure center of the brains of the rats. They would put them through tests, like they would, put them in a maze or whatever, and they would make sure to see what they would do after they've eaten the Oreos. And they would act even weirder than, if you'd ever seen someone like all high and stuff. So it's really interesting, the fact that Oreos are now considered to be worse than cocaine. Now, they said one of the things is reason why that Oreos are worse than cocaine, because it's high fat and high sugar that's in there, and because it's so easily accessed by everybody that it makes it actually worse. And they're rock bottom cheap. I always like to cut my Oreos, put them separate it out, and then scrape out the filling, and of course that's apparently how the rats eat it too. They break it apart and they eat the rats.
You eat them like a rat does.
Yeah, that's right. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, we need to move on this and get Oreos on the Schedule 1 controlled substance list right away. Because lives are being ruined by row after row of cream-filled cookie. But, yeah, this study was pretty hardcore. Mm-hmm. I mean, they had rats in a maze, and they were injecting them with cocaine and heroin. And I'm just like, I could just imagine a whole bunch of rats bumping into each other, all strung out, like, hey, man, I smell Oreo. I think that's an Oreo. Fuck! It's a rice cake. But, yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's very interesting that even rats pick apart the cookie and eat the cream first.
Yeah, that's how they do it in the commercial. You ever see it? It's like, oh, how do you eat it? Oh, I eat it, tear it apart, and I do this, and then and that's exactly how the mice do it too. It's like, wow.
Clearly, these rats didn't have access to a glass of milk, because that's the proper way to eat an Oreo.
Some people, I like to dunk mine. I take a little bit at a time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The cream filling keeps it together.
That's right. Well, it's the glue.
It's the milk-proof glue that keeps the cookie from falling apart.
You know those kids who used to eat paste when they were growing up? That's This is their paste. This is the paste. Connie, your thoughts?
All I can see are little rats in the maze, forming little gangs. That's how the doctors knew that they were really in trouble, shaking them down.
Hey,
Oreos.
I got some Oreos over here. Come on.
But in meeting Packard, you're like, why do they use rats? And I asked myself, why do they use rats?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And there's a lot of reasons, because they reproduce quickly. Within 3 years, you have a new generation.
Oh, okay.
But I looked at a site and it said,
or they should use as Republicans. Rats and Republicans.
Well, there you go. I think it's cheaper to pay off the rats than it is the GOP.
Oh, this is true. They want cookies and milk.
They're used as models in medical testing because their genetic and biological behavior characteristics closely resemble those of humans.
Yes.
And many symptoms of human conditions.
I think that's another reason why they don't use Republicans, because they bear no resemblance to human life.
That's right. That's exactly right. Oh, goodness.
I'm sorry. I had a little
No,
political,
okay. I was
political
like,
commentary in there.
In here somehow.
Yeah.
Story begs for it.
It does. It really does. You have anything else you want to add to that?
I loved Hydrox actually rather than Oreos. They don't make those anymore.
Hydrox?
And I like the cookie part.
You know why? It's because they weren't addictive enough. And then if you've ever gone out to buy Oreos, they've got the ones that say double stuff. And then they had the triple stuff. It was like, we want.
Pretty soon it's just stuff.
Yes. They want to push
on the outside and a cookie in the middle.
Yes.
Just a bag of mush.
Yeah. Nick.
That explains why your toddlers get all strung out when you feed them these things, huh? They're actually,
Yeah, that's probably the reason why. Nick, your thoughts?
When I first heard about this, the first thing that came to mind was if this is true, then I know now that I can safely do drugs and walk away because I'm not a big fan of Oreos. So I'm going to run right out, buy me some crack. But if they did the same study and found the same effect with burritos, I'd be screwed. So I'm going to wait till they try that.
Well, we had another story we were talking about doing. As long as that burrito doesn't have bacon in it, that's a whole other story. I'll send you the story on that one. It's a funny story too. But anyway, did you have any other thoughts on that? By the way,
when I was reading it, it said the study supports evidence that high fat and high sugar foods are addictive. Mm-hmm. Did we just figure this out?
Yeah.
No, because
it took us 400 pounds, each person nationwide. I wonder why we're getting fat. All those Oreos. Hey.
Yeah, and did the rats build a tolerance to the cocaine? Maybe just not such a tolerance to the cookies.
Oh, that's a possibility.
Can you get an Oreo tolerance?
I don't know. That's a good question. Because
you can get a drug tolerance.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I suppose. The more you eat, you get more you have more tolerance built up to it. With Oreos, I don't know if they had that instance. It doesn't say here for sure, but
I mean, they don't live too long, but I would think that would accelerate. How fast they could get a tolerance. I don't know. Yeah. And also, I find it funny that the rats eat the Oreos the same way I do, eating the middle part first, eating the crack first.
That's right. What the hell is these brown things on the ends? Just give me the cream. Fuck that. Just throw those away.
That's the spoon you're supposed to cook it on.
Oh, that's what I've been doing wrong. Now I need new spoons.